Hello and welcome to Straight Talk. I'm Melinda Nusafora. We begin in Iraq, where a new government, barely a month old, is looking to tackle a host of challenges, from security threats to quelling protests directed at officials in Baghdad. The country's north is also reeling from the devastation left by Daesh, who were largely driven out in heavy fighting 1 year ago. A rebuilding effort now fully underway is hoping to breathe life back into the city of Mosul, and Turkey is looking to play a role, as Can Hassasou explains.
It's a show of support for a minority group that Turkey has historical bonds to. Iraq's Turkmen community, long oppressed by Saddam Hussein, suffered equally under the terror of Daesh. With Mosul now liberated, Turkey is ready to return to a city it knows all too well. In 2014, Daesh launched a brazen attack against the Turkish consulate, taking 49 staff and their families hostage. Rescue efforts secured their release, but the building was left in ruins. Now, with the terror group gone, Turkey wants to re-establish its diplomatic presence and help rebuild Mosul.
Our intention is to be able to establish a second border crossing, which will directly link Turkey with the areas that are controlled by Baghdad directly. That road goes through Tel Afar, goes through Mosul, and this will definitely bring that economic vitality, which is very much needed now in Mosul.
Opening a new border crossing into Iraq is just the first step in a multi-part plan to reconnect Turkey to the country's highway network. The Mosul-Baghdad highway crisscrosses through Iraq's Sunni heartland around Tikrit, an area that Daesh occupied for more than 3 years. Turkey is betting that reconnecting this highway will revitalize the region's economy, and Mosul's leaders are championing such projects to attract foreign investors.
This is a positive step. We actually hope that other countries, especially European countries, will quickly follow Turkey's step to open consulates in Nineveh state. As a state known for being a trade center, we will welcome newcomers as well.
There is also an ambitious second phase, connecting the highway all the way down to Basra in Iraq's south, a link severed after the US invaded Iraq in 2003. But to implement this, Turkey needs to re-establish its diplomatic presence in Iraq's restive south. The Turkish consulate in Basra closed in 2014 amid worsening security conditions. The city has since become a hotspot for anti-government demonstrations. Protesters demanding better services and jobs burned down the Iranian consulate back in September. Ankara believes that economic vitality will be a key factor in bringing stability to the region, and the commercial port of Basra is a major part of that vision. That plan, if completed, would achieve Turkey's goal of reconnecting the Gulf to Europe, creating a lucrative energy, trade, and transport network that millions could prosper from. Can Hassasou, Straight Talk.
To get a better sense of just what's at stake here, I'm joined by Muwafaq al-Rubai, who is a former national security advisor in Iraq, and Mehmet Avucu, who is a former Turkish diplomat and the CEO of Global Resources Partnership. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us on Straight Talk.
Pleasure.
Muwafaq, I'm going to start with you. The planned Overkoy border gate will directly link Turkey with Baghdad. If Iraq is to successfully rebuild, how important is this new highway?
Well, this is going to be like a lifeline for the reconstruction campaign of Iraq after we defeated Daesh.
And why? Commercially or also for the people as well?
Well, it's commercially as well as give Iraq more options. One route is going through the Erbil and Suleimania and then Baghdad. Another route is direct to not going through the KRG, it's going to bypass the KRG, and it's commercially much better to have the more the merrier.
What about for the people of Iraq? How much will it benefit them on a social kind of cohesion sense if we can get that link rebuilt?
Well, Turkey has a long history in Iraq. The Turks have been in Iraq for hundreds of years, and their social connection to Iraq is very good, and it goes in the history. And I believe the commercial and the trade and business and economic connection is going to be much better if we have the social reconnection as well back to normal.
Talking about some opportunities, I might just throw it over to you there, Mehmet. This transport link, if it does successfully connect Turkey then all the way through to Europe, it could be a vital energy link to transport and open up some energy markets for Iraq. Is that a viable long-term plan?
Well, I think it is going to be a game changer in the relationship between Baghdad and Ankara. Because for so long, the relationship has been troubled, involving also Kurdish regional government of Iraq and how Turkey dealt with Erbil and energy exports from this region. I think Ankara made its decision quite clear that it's going to work through Baghdad. And Baghdad also has shown very positive signals that it is going to work with Ankara. This infrastructure connection through the Overköy gate all the way to Mosul and then Baghdad will open wide the avenues for trade, investment, and other interactions.
Is it viable to think that it will open up trade into Europe?
If both sides persist in this objective, that's going to be win-win. I think it's going to work. One party that might be a bit annoyed, frustrated, will be Erbil, because it will be sidelined somehow. And Turkey also geostrategically would like to keep the option of opening to the Arab world, because we have troubles in Syria, as you know. And with KRG also, relationship has been a bit somehow up and down, erratic. But now with this direct entry into Iraq, and then through Iraq to Basra and the Gulf region, this is also an integral part of Iraq's bigger picture reconstruction efforts after 15 years of wars. $90 billion of investment we are expecting, and Turks hope to get some share, hopefully lion's share in this reconstruction business.
Yeah,
see, this link, I believe, is going to be it will complete the dry canal we were talking about to connect the east and west.
Yes.
From the Gulf of Basra into Europe. So this link is the missing link. If we complete this link, all the railway, the roads, and well, everything will be connecting the Gulf of Basra into Europe.
Earlier on, you said we can turn the page now on security. Can we really? Is it safe to say that, you know, for governments, for businesses, come in, Iraq is now open for reconstruction business? It's still a bit of a dangerous area.
Well, I can be rest assured that Iraq is good for business now, open for business, and diplomats, officials and businessmen can visit the country safely and no problem. And if you compare Baghdad to Mexico City, for example, and which is 9 million with 9 millions, the level of violence in Mexico City is 10 times the violence in Baghdad.
Mehmet, let's talk about the position of Iran within Iraq. First of all, let's talk about trade. Iraq has preferably in the past imported a lot of its commercial goods, construction goods from Iran because it has been cheaper. Now, because of the sanctions, that supply chain is cut. Can you see Turkey stepping in now to fill that void and increasing a commercial trade with Iraq? I
think Iraqi-Iranian trade investment flows will not stop because of the sanctions. U.S. has provided 45 days of waiver as an exception, but this will be, I'm sure, extended further. But independently of that, Turkey used to be #1 trading partner for Iraq for long years. Now, I
Now
think
not
we will,
so.
now not so, because China, Russia, I think, took this away from Iraq. But now, with stepping up of efforts of infrastructure connection, I should also mention here that this connection, if we can manage from Basra all the way to Ortaköy, and then link to Turkey with China's Belt and Road Initiative. This is a gigantic project, as you know, of about $900 billion, connecting China to Central Asia, Caspian, Turkey to Europe. And this Iraqi connection will link to that as well, will become of the global chain, part of global chain. Security-wise, we will still be concerned whether PKK might attack, whether ISIS still, although significantly reduced, might be a threat to that.
Yes, because
so both countries
there were some grand plans you had there, but as a businessman yourself, do you think that this is viable? I mean, can you see it happening?
I see that happening. I'm very optimistic about that. If Baghdad and Ankara persist and involve somehow Erbil in this picture as well, because if you sideline and isolate Erbil, then it's not going to be a three-side win-win project. So we have to bring Erbil somehow to the picture. As you say, already the ties are getting better, especially thanks to Bahram Salih becoming the president as well.
Thank you, Mohammed. I believe we have to here say that Iraqis are against the U.S. sanction against Iran. We Iraqis suffered great deal from the sanction, UN sanction during the 90s. So we are against the sanction. And we have a symbiotic relationship with Iran. We will try to help Iran in any shape or form to bust this sanction, this horrible, deplorable state of. The relationship between Iraq and Iran is symbiotic, okay, complementing each other. We have a security strategic relationship partnership with the United States of America. We don't think that these two, I think these two are not mutually exclusive.
They can coexist.
I think they are complementing each other. It's very good for security of Iraq and good for the economy and rebuilding and neighborhood of Iraq. That's why we need to look in a completely different eye. The Trump administration eye is completely different from what we think is good for Iraqis, is good for Iraq. What's good for Iraq is the most important things because see, united strong Iraq is the only insurance policy for the security and prosperity and stability of the whole region.
Hopefully, with this border gate, if it does go ahead, we're going to see a great deal of prosperity flowing into and out of the country. Gentlemen, both of you, thank you so much for being here on Straight Talk.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Turkey and the West African nation of Ghana have enjoyed 6 decades of solid trade ties. But now, both countries are looking to take their business relationship to the next level. Having already completed numerous projects worth hundreds of millions of dollars, Turkish businesses are looking to capitalise on Ghana's potential to be a regional hub for transport, energy and tourism. Omer Kablan explains.
Hailed as West Africa's golden child, it's one of the continent's great success stories. But the ride has not always been smooth. A major energy crisis between 2012 and 2015 had a devastating impact on Ghana's economy. Power outages became so unbearable, it forced the government to seek outside help. In stepped the Turkish-built billion-dollar car power ship, a 450-megawatt floating power plant, which is generating a quarter of Ghana's electricity requirements. There's also Aksar Energy, which built a 370-megawatt thermal power plant, supplying another 10% of Ghana's energy needs. Murat Chapto, the regional director of Aksar Energy, says the joint project came just in time and helped bring an end to the electricity shortage. But it's not just the energy sector that needs attention. Ghana is moving to upgrade its underdeveloped transportation network. Enter the new Terminal 3 at the Kotoka International Airport. price tag nearly $250 million. Turkish construction company MAPA won the contract to design and rebuild the terminal. Now completed, it has the capacity to handle 5 million passengers annually, more than double the capacity of the old airport. Okan Doğan, the project manager of MAPA, says the new airport terminal will not only have a lasting impact on the country's transport network, it is helping train a new generation of highly skilled workers, especially in construction. With the increased passenger capacity, officials in Ghana are hopeful that their country can become a new regional air hub.
We think the vision to become the hub in the West African sub-region is fairly well on course. We expect that we would attract more airlines into our country.
And Turkey's investments are helping Ghana reach that goal. Ghana is one of Turkey's largest and fastest growing trade partners in Africa. Over the last 5 years, Turkey's investments have increased to more than $500 million from $190 million. And with close to 200 Turkish businesses operating in the country, trade ties are expected to strengthen further. But Turkey's outreach isn't just about building infrastructure.
Turkey has this enterprising and humanitarian foreign policy. So we are having a number of programs trying to assist African countries. It's not only that we are after trade, we are also here to help people with their needs and meet their expectations. And this is a win-win situation for both sides, Turkey and Africa.
And then there is the project that's leaving a cultural footprint on a vast scale. Even from a distance, you can't miss Accra's new mosque. The Ghana National Mosque in the center of Ghana's capital has a design that is distinctly Turkish. Once complete, it will accommodate up to 10,000 worshippers in an area of 4,000 square meters. It's part of a complex being created by the Human Development Association International, or Hudayi, which will also house a cultural center, a hospital, and a school. Salman Özpınar is the general coordinator of Hudayi. He says it's not just a mosque for Muslims, but a complex that will have facilities that provide services to everyone.
This is the largest mosque in West Africa. We brought Turkish engineers and architects to design the mosque, and most of the materials are from Turkey. It is a place of worship for Muslims, but we will have facilities that will be catered for all Ghanaians.
Turkish interests in Ghana are just a representation of Ankara's growing relationship with Africa over the past decade. Turkey now has 40 embassies in Africa compared to only 12 in 2008. And it's not only about business, it's about sustainable development and a shared future. Omar Kablan, Straight Talk.
And joining me now to discuss this more, Professor Sedat Aybak, who is the head of the Economy and Finance Department at Istanbul's Aydın University. Thank you for being here. And Agnes Gitau, who is the Managing Director at the London-based consultancy firm ABS Africa. Okay, we're going to start with you first of all, Sedat. This is such an interesting topic. Africa is not one of Turkey's top 10 trading partners, so why is it so important that Turkey expands its business reach into Africa?
It's true, Africa is not Turkey's one of the top trading partners. That's true, but Turkey's involvement in Africa, it goes beyond economic concerns. There's a mixture of motivations that Turkey is directing its attention to Africa. Mm-hmm. Some of these are cultural, some of these are economic motivations, and others are concerning geopolitics. So when you look at Turkey's trade relations with Africa, actually that relationship is growing sixfold when you compare it to other regions. Basically, President Erdogan, when he was talking at the second Africa-Turkey summit, he mentioned this: Turkey is going to walk together with Africa as a new world order being established. So basically, win-win situation concerns some of the humanitarian side of finding solutions to problems that Africa is facing with regards to development. So basically, finding African solutions for African problems is becoming Turkey's complementary to its economic development and its claims over natural resources that Africa is prepared to offer. Mm-hmm. Turkey needs that for its growing industrial base, but also security-wise, now Turkish national security goes beyond Turkey's borders.
Agnes, I just want to elaborate on one point that Sadat raised there, and that's this win-win idea. The EU, US, China have all been criticised for some of their trade practices in Africa. What does Turkey have to do differently so that it doesn't face that same sort of criticism?
It has to be Africa-led. Businesses, particularly the private sector, led by the, encouraged by the policy in the country, must always realize what are the priorities, what does Africa need, and then align their services and products based on that. And that, for me, is very profitable, not only for the Africans, but also for the Turkish businesses. But suddenly, Africa's market is open. We have a population of 1.2 billion people. We've opened up our borders, so providing bigger market, bigger economies for Turkish businesses.
Well, because we do see that there is the political will, but some business leaders are cautious. So how can Africa alleviate that so that they can encourage more business? What do they need to do?
So we're building institutions. We are ensuring that we are building capacity within our legal and regulatory framework. We are coming up with incentives to encourage. I've seen governments from Cape Town to Cairo to Nairobi to Timbuktu, all of them coming with incentives, really trying to encourage economic investment. And again, I think what is most interesting for Turkish business to realize that African corporates are investing in our market. We have confidence in our market, and I think that should really encourage businesses out here to do more with African business. And also that Turkey is taking the right step, really. Everybody, and as Sadat says, that when the president said about working with Africa, I think there's a new world order forming, and Africa has a seat on that table. And it's not the next frontier, it is the frontier. And look at the uncertainty in the global markets today. Look at Brexit, for example.
Now, Sadat, let me ask you this. China, the European Union, they are already Africa's largest trading partners. They're not going to want to lose business. How suspicious are they? How cautious are they of Turkey's new interest in Africa? And are they going to try and convince African businesses not to do business with Turkey?
Positive development within the continent, it embodies in itself some kind of risks that comes together with it. And this is what we are witnessing now. Turkey is coming into the continent with this humanitarian discourse, and with the, we are not going to accept to be, when President Erdogan is telling this at the first business summit in Istanbul in 2016, that we are not going to accept to be wretched of the earth, but he means we are going to develop these the business relationship together with the Africans, and we are going to explore our complementarities in industry, in our production and consumption chain.
There seems to be a lot of goodwill already towards Turkey in Africa. Agnes, why does Turkish business have such a good reputation?
I think what they did in Somalia, already everybody looked at that because they went to a country that really needed a friend, during there was war and starvation. So I think that decision to go there was very strategic, and I think led by really that sincere approach by the administration here into its relations with Africa, but also that they invest, or their businesses are purely building capacity. They invested heavily in education, like in Senegal and other countries, value addition, investing in agriculture, which is core to African market, but also also ensuring that they employ local workforce. You know, there's huge human capital in Africa. Turkish businesses don't bring their own expatriates, you know, so they employ, so they're creating employment, which is really needed in Africa. They're adding value to our products, and I think that for me is quite interesting, and why I think Turkey's relationship with Africa is sustainable. It's just because the approach is slightly different, and I think, I mean, commenting to what I said earlier, I think they've learned. They see what works, what didn't work, and I think they're being innovative in creating new relationship, and again, based in that famous quote, win-win relationship.
Well, there is certainly a lot of room to grow. Professor Sedat Aybar and Agnes Gitau from GBS Africa, it's been lovely having you both here on Straight Talk.
Thank you.
That's all for this edition of Straight Talk with me, Melinda Nusafora. If you've got any comments, share them with us on Twitter using #StraightTalk. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Until next time, take care and goodbye.